my God, it's making me a little teary-eyed, but yes, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when you feel really loved.
So loved, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, we should all be so lucky, huh? That's beautiful. NLP Techniques for Love. I'm going deeper in this video than I did in the last video. In the last video, I outlined the techniques. You know, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. In this video, we're going to hyper-focus on NLP Love Strategies with a demo. So, and really what I want you to get out of the demo, because the steps are particularly easy, but what I want you to get out of the demo is the state that she goes into when I run her love strategy with her. Okay, watch the state she goes into. Keep in mind, her partner is not there. We're talking about a time when she felt really loved with her partner. Partner's not in the room, right? And she goes into a state of being totally loved just because I know this strategy. Now, the implication, by the way, if I need to remember to remind myself to tell you that if you want to apply for coaching, then you can find the application below. Please only apply if you're serious about coaching, becoming the best version of yourself, etc. Okay, sorry, back to the video. The implications of what you're about to see are massive, okay? So all of us, you know, of course we want to be better partners, of course we do. So anything, obviously, that would make you better in relationship is useful, obviously, duh. But this in particular really has profound implications. This is way better than love languages, way better, okay? Because people tell me all the time, they're like, my love language is this, my love language is that. I don't see them go into the state that you're about to see in the video, okay? And it's a very straightforward thing to do. And if you do this with your partner, what you're gonna discover is exactly, so let me tell you about what we're doing. So we're doing something called love strategies. Strategies in NLP. You can think of them as your unconscious mind's recipe for producing a certain outcome, a certain state. So, you know, if you were gonna cook, for example, right, there is a specific order and sequence that you're gonna take your ingredients and arrange them in, right? So, for example, if you're making, you know, you think about, what do I want, right? Well, I want an omelet, right? So, you know that's the thing you're going for. So you're going to arrange, you know, you're going to get your pan out, you're going to get your butter, your cooking oil, whatever, you're going to get your eggs, whatever else you put in the omelet. Then, once you got everything, at least this is how I do it, then you're going to heat the pan, right? And then you do the next step, and then you do the next step, and then you do the next step. And if you do things out of order, you get a different result, right? So if you crack the eggs and put them in before you warm up the pan, you'll cook the eggs, but I don't know if you're gonna wanna eat those eggs, right? So strategies is the order and sequence of the internal process, the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, etc., unconsciously, that produce a state. Now, in this case, we're talking about the state of being loved, right? What's it like when you feel totally loved? Well, your unconscious mind has a series of steps, a recipe, if you will, in order for you to feel that. So, in the video, I elicit that recipe for Danielle, and then I fire off the strategy, and you'll see she goes right into the state, and it's profound. If memory serves, I think she starts to tear up a little bit, and then we all did on the call. We all kind of felt it. It's beautiful. So what are the implications? Well, imagine knowing exactly how to make the person you're with feel completely and totally loved. And imagine a relationship where that was consistent. Do you know how rare that is? Imagine if they knew yours. Two people who are making each other feel totally, I mean, don't you think that this should be mandatory for like forget marriage licenses? It should be love strategy licenses. Do you in wedding vows, it should be, do you solemnly swear to remember to use your partner's love strategy and make them feel wildly loved? Right? Now that is a good application of this. That being said, I have seen people, who don't really recognize that feeling loved is a powerful emotion, and that there are less scrupulous people who would use something like this for seduction. Not that there's anything wrong with seduction itself, but you're not thinking through the consequences of that. If you're going to use something like this to seduce someone, but then not be around to make them to actually love that person, that's cruel. Okay, so what you're about to learn is either the greatest gift that you could give to your partner, and to me, should be mandatory in relationships, but also know that if you're not planning on loving that person, it's just a mean thing to do. Like, it's confusing. They're feeling totally loved, but then all of a sudden you're like, ghost! They text you and you're like, ghost! Right? Mean. Don't do it. It's cruel. Think it through. How is this person gonna feel if I do this? Okay, it's common sense empathy. I'm surprised I have to say it, but here we are. That being said, if you're in a relationship, or even if you're dating somebody, this can be when people use NLP to enhance relating with each other, it's beautiful. When they use NLP as a trick or technique on somebody else, it's psychopathic manipulation. Okay, so I want to make a clear distinction there. I know the people who watch this, the people who follow my content, most likely vibe with me. Like, you're watching this because we have similar values. It's just the way people work. You get attracted to brands, people, styles, etc., that we mirror each other's values. So I know for the most part my audience is awesome. So I want you to take this. I want you to use it. I want you to make your relationships better. And the other implication. Yeah, realize the other implication. Her partner's not in the room, right? She's feeling totally loved in that moment. That's an inside job. Love is an inside job. So yes, we want to help our partners feel totally loved. But this is another shining example of why NLP is the very thing that can help you come from a state of feeling totally loved first, before you get into the relationship or while you're in the relationship. And we all kind of know by now, don't we? That so within, as without. Terrible at quoting that phrase, but when people talk about the law of attraction, they talk about raising their energy. When they talk about, Neil Strauss, the guy who wrote The Game, speaking of manipulative tactics, later on he went on to write a book called The Truth. And he started to study relationships. And he said every study of relationship has shown demonstrably that it's not about the person we attract, it's about the person we become. And that, the person that we become, is what leads to the great relationship. So keep that in mind. If she can feel loved by knowing her strategy, how much more likely is it that love comes into her life, your life, my life, etc., when we're in the state of love? A lot more likely. How much more likely then when we build beliefs that make that love, that state of love, more of a default way of being? A lot more likely. Anyway, enough ranting. I'm going to start with the end of the video here. So I'm going to start with me firing off the strategy. Okay? I want you to watch the state she goes into. Then I'll start it over and do the full elicitation. Got you. Very cool. So when she does that, so she's so thorough, right? and that she gives you that special caress, right?
Yeah.
And she's verbally extremely reassuring. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's making me a little teary-eyed, but yes, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's when you feel really loved.
So loved. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, we should all be so lucky, huh? That's beautiful. Okay, yeah. So tell me about a time when you felt really loved.
So the first memory that comes to my mind with my partner right now, I felt very loved when she'd take me out on dates, and she's very thorough with her planning on what we're doing next.
Okay.
So just her
Got
way
it.
of being brings a sense of safety. And the more safe I feel, the more loved I feel. And her gestures of affection, you know, the kisses on my hand, the kisses on my cheek, I just completely feel loved.
Okay. So her taking you on this date, right? And she is very thorough.
And then at 6:30,
right? Yeah.
Okay. And then she's also doing, no worries. And there's also gestures that she's doing. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned kisses, right? So
yes.
How is she making you feel safe?
She's super attentive in how I might feel. I mentioned the thoroughness because wherever we go when we plan things, she's very thorough in how I might feel as far as my energy, or it's like she learns my energy well enough. She'll know when I'm too tired to do something. So she'll plan thoroughly and like, okay, we can do this and then we can do this so you can relax. I've never had anyone plan things out for me like that before.
Got it. Got it. Is there anything else?
She's super mindful in reassurance, I'd say.
Got it.
Yeah.
When she's reassurant, is that something that she says to you? Like, is her reassurance verbal? Or is it about verbal. The way she touches you? Is it about the way she looks at you?
Wow.
Yeah.
She both verbally and physically. The way she holds me and yeah.
And so how is it that she holds you that allows you to feel really loved?
Well, she's very chivalrous. She makes sure I'm always protected anywhere I go. And the way she holds me like this, like I'm protected. She's very instinctive with that. I noticed that. Verbally, the way she says, I just want to let you know A, B, and C, and just know that EFC or something like that. Like, I think a great example is when she knows she's not going to be able to contact me for a whole day. She has a great way of showing up and letting me know what's going on. So there's like no surprises, no doubts. Wow. She's very reassuring to where like to make sure I don't feel anxious at all about anything.
Okay, got it. So what if, like, which of those do you think is the most important part for you? The fact that she's so thorough, or is it the way she holds you, or the way she what was the last one? Now I'm blanking.
Oh no, it's okay.
She's very thorough.
She's chivalrous. She's protective physically. Yeah, thorough, reassuring. That's hard because physical touch is my love language. So she's very reassuring in her affection, but it's also very powerful in the way she verbally reassures me because I've never had that with anyone before.
Well, just check in. Imagine that she's giving you that caress. Right?
Okay.
And you know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And then compare that to how she verbally reassures you. If you could
Okay,
only
I would
have
say
one or the
verbally
other.
reassure me. If I can only have one, definitely the way she
Yeah.
verbally reassures me, because
And then
that's so unique and rare.
how about the way she's thorough with planning everything? If you had to prioritize them, where would you put it?
The top.
That's the
Because
top.
because I've been in relationships where I'm usually the one planning everything. I know how much energy and work it takes to do that. But for her, she does it just naturally. And she tells me how she loves doing that for me.
Okay. Got you. Very cool. So
Yeah.
when she does that, so she's so thorough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that she gives you that special caress, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's verbally extremely reassuring. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's making me a little teary-eyed, but yes, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's when you feel really loved.
So loved. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, we should all be so lucky, huh? That's beautiful.